shit, and I fuck with him. And yo, Kev, I love you, Don Diva. I love you.
Now, y'all know I like to talk and I like to do me, but I got a brother that's gonna give some insight. You know what I mean? So it's not just me doing all the talking, because I want y'all to know what we go through from when we got picked up. You know what I mean? Getting ready for trial, going through trial. You know what I mean? These are all the things I want to touch on so that they understand that these are some stressful situations, and don't want the youth to feel like, man, I can handle it if I go to jail. No, it's a whole lot that go with jail. You know what I mean? And it's not just being physically contained, you know what I mean, when I'm talking, because that became nothing to me, you know what I mean? My childhood was basically contained. I ain't gonna get into that right now, but you know what I mean? My childhood was, you know, so them putting me in a 2x4 didn't really freak me out. You know what I mean? It's the emotional aspect,
and the mental,
you know, and the mental that get to us. You know what I mean? But when you was coming out, you know, break that down what we was just saying so that they understand.
You know, no different than yourself. Like, myself, before I was incarcerated, I never had a job. I think I had a summer youth job at 14, you know, and that's like, what, a couple of months in the summer.
Yeah, you already know.
Right,
yeah.
So
and it was a good check to get your school closed.
Yeah, at the time.
You know what I mean? At that time.
At the time.
You know what I mean?
Was.
For
so
real.
That was
big shout out to the states and governments that did that back then.
Continue to help. Yeah,
they need to keep it going.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
But you know, as you get closer to coming home, you start contemplating, what the fuck I'm gonna do when I go home? I mean, you know, you gotta think, you fill out a resume, there's like a 8-9 year gap as to doing anything and putting some youth job to amount to nothing. You know, so you start having anxiety and stress about, you know, what am I gonna do when I come home? You know, and for a lot of us, when we come home, you know, that's what our reality is, and a lot of us end up going back to what we know, especially initially when things don't come together. You know, and for people who take that for granted, no different, y'all don't really know what that anxiety and stress is for a man who's used to taking care of his family and being the breadwinner and then coming home to nothing, right? You know? having to rebuild from literally nothing. You know, so that was definitely something that weighed real heavy on me. I was fortunate enough to have started Don Diva a couple of years before I came home. And
big shout out to Don Diva.
Right, definitely. You know what I mean? Definitely that was definitely put me on the right path and spared my life, because I'm gonna keep it 1,000. You know, and this is not to encourage anybody in the wrongdoing. I know, and I'm being honest. That's what that's all we want. Exactly. You know, I contemplated, you know, if shit didn't go a certain kind of way for me, I was gonna go back to what I knew. You know, because it's just a natural reaction. You know, you sink or swim. Yeah, it's sort of that. You know, fight or flight. You know, but when I came home, I had a few friends of mine that you know were still moving around a certain kind of way, and the temptation was definitely there. You know,
they pull up with the whips, with the shoes,
yeah, definitely,
the jewels,
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, all the trappings,
everything that we need, what that we want.
Yeah, we thought was what it was.
Yeah, that's why I said we want. I switched from
no
the
different
need
than
to the
you.
want.
No different than you. I had a good name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what counts. You know?
So I could have walked into any situation. And it would have went from there. If I don't know how to do nothing, I know how to hustle. You know? Hustle is hustle.
And there you go.
You know. But what happened was a couple of strange coincidences happened, man. You know, one of the dudes that I was cool with got killed. You know, and you know, it's my guy. It's like somebody who I love and trust. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, it's Bob Alive. It's a friend of mine. He ended up getting killed. You know what I mean? It was my co-defendant too. You know. So he got killed, you know. Shortly after that was another guy that I was cool with that was running around a little bit. You know, he got busted. I was on the phone talking to him. You know what I'm saying? And I actually heard the feds pull him out the car as me and him was on the phone. So now that's the second thing that happened. And this is all happening while I'm on house arrest. You know what I mean? I'm not 60 days out and all these things are happening. And it's like those unfortunate things happen. But it made me say, you know what, Kev, you've never really given anything 100% of your attention. You know, like, this thing is working. It's not making the kind of money I'm used to making, but it's making money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it allowed me to...
Patience for the grind.
Right. But you know what? And I should have had that coming out. But I was mad at the government. I was mad at, you know, the way things had happened to me, and it felt unjust to me. So, you know, I still had sort of like that chip on my shoulder. Like I said, I didn't do 26 years. 8 years is a long time. 9 years is a long time.
It is a long time.
But it didn't stifle me. It didn't make me say I'm not willing to take another shot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. About 8, 9 years, I'm still hustling the joint.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it gangster.
Yeah,
I'm selling heroin in the joint and everything
There
else.
you go.
And I ain't even sell heroin on the street.
There you go.
That was a drug of choice. So I adapted
Survive,
to that
right.
just to survive and, you know, to do something. But then, like you said, after that 15 years,
Right.
is when I said, man, what is you doing, man?
Right.
You got grandkids now.
So-
You know what I mean?
So for myself, when those 2 incidences happened, I had to reflect on it. It's like, yo, this is happening for a reason. And not to put myself before the tragedies that happened in my mans, you know, but at the same time, it's like I had to see the writing on the wall and say, you know what, give this 100% of your attention. Give something in your life for the very first time 100% of your attention, meaning like, you know what, I'm gonna really focus on this. So I really put my grind down and really like expanded the brand and, you know, got it all over the country and got a distribution deal, and things just started coming together. So I guess fate just took its course. You know?
Yeah, but see, the same way you said, you know, you just put your all in to let it go. That's I've been home 90 days. You know what I mean? I jumped right into getting my own because I got a wonderful son. Big shout out to Wiz the God. I mean, you know, my kids, you know, they there to give me what I want.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's important to support system.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of us don't have that.
Yeah, but
for those who do,
man,
you're blessed.
But you know our caliber. Right. You know what I mean? I feel I should still be able to take care of my son.
I agree.
So I had to adjust to my son taking care of me.
Right.
You understand? Where I felt funny him paying for my sneakers.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
When he still, I mean, and the thing is, I took him and his brother, you know what I mean, by 2 different mothers at the time. When I went and took the 2 of them out for the first time, I took the 2 of them to 125th to the Foot Locker,
Right.
and I got them dressed up in some sneakers. They remember the name of them. When I talk to them on here, they'll say they look like green and black, like an army fatigue type of color. But anyway, but they still remember those sneakers, and by choice, those sneakers is like still prevalent now as the throwbacks.
Right.
So as soon as I went home, I went and my son pulled out a pair of those in the closet that he bought for me, which was the first pair that I bought for him.
Yo, that's crazy.
You understand what I'm saying? But I had to get used to, you know, and I still ain't used to it. And that's why I came out running, you know what I mean, and put my attention into this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, and now I'm gonna get in my cocky shit. I know you like to lay back, but I'm gonna get in my cocky shit.
That's the yin
you know
and
what I
yang,
mean?
man.
But that's what I say. You already know. You know, everybody ain't unique and everybody
Right.
ain't Kevin.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But when I came out, I already knew everybody loved me. They loved me on the mic. That's how I was at Club 2000. That's how I was at Mecca Audio. Anywhere I went, it was a party. And I didn't have a mic and I didn't have social media, and I became that nigga.
But that's your personality.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That's your personality.
So that's why I said, my man was watching something on YouTube and sent me something and said, yo, this is what a podcast look like. And when I watched, I ain't gonna say no names about nothing, you know what I mean? I don't disrespect anybody. But it was whack.
Right.
I mean, for real, there was no energy, it was whack.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, if this motherfucker got 100 and something thousand people tuning in to watch that energy,
Right.
there's no way in hell I can't win with my energy.
No, that's 100%. I mean,
You
you
know
know,
what I
what? And your name identifies your personality, unique.
You know? So all I do is just be me, and that's why I keep apologizing because, you know, I know that dudes get on there and want to be keyboard gangsters just to hate.
Right.
They can't give a reason why they want to hate me because I'm coming home, I'm sitting with Big Kevin Chiles, and we both can admit that we corrupted and destroyed our community.
Absolutely.
We destroyed it. You know what I mean? We're responsible for that. And the title of his book say that, the crack era.
Right.
You know what I mean? But here it is in the 2020 era, we're trying to do something to rectify that.
And been doing something.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
The last
yeah.
20 years. That's
exactly.
the
And you've been doing it from in there.
Right.
Exactly. And I've been trying from out here to do what I can because I've been at social media all the while I was out there, good support team that cut and paste
but
the message to me.
nobody's you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but you already
Nobody's
know. But that's the point I'm making, that I want them to understand that when I sit down with gods in the game,
Right.
you understand what I'm saying? That we're not here to brag about what we did to become God.
Right.
You know what I mean? We want to leave a legacy for our grandkids that we learned from that to prevent someone else's child
Right.
from going through that. You understand what I'm saying?
That's the hopes and
And,
desires.
and that's it. If I save one, I'm good. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't think anyone have a reason to hate on what we're doing because we're not bothering anyone.
No, there's no reason for that.
You know what I mean? We're just telling them, stay out the game. It's not worth it. He gave up 9, you know what I mean? And lost a lot of things in the process. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the game. And so did I. You know, and we're telling you it's not worth it.
Right.
you know, as gods in the game. And y'all can't dispute that we're kingpins. You know what I mean? That we're gods. And we're not here to brag about it. We're just telling you what it is. And as one kingpin to another, I wanted the other kingpins and men like myself to be able to, you know, apologize to the community, the people, you know, anyone that we might have hurt, because we didn't intend to hurt anyone. We were just making a means with what we had.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're not mollifying it. You know what I mean? I know y'all remember I told you about that word mollifying it. You know, I know you know, but just so the younger viewers know, mollifying it in the psychology, and they had to teach me that to twist my mind around to get me to stop being old cocky unique that don't listen to nobody. You understand what I'm saying? To try and better myself and become Waynesworth. You understand what I'm saying? But mollifying is when you make excuses to justify a wrong situation.
Right.
You know it's wrong.
Well, you have to live in that moment to exist.
Exactly.
You have
but
to do
now,
that.
but now,
A reflection.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But now I've grown from that. You know what I mean? And if y'all notice, this conversation that me and this God is having is two gods speaking about life, trying to prevent y'all from ruining your life. We're not sitting here talking about the red Benz you had, which was fire. It was in my garage.
You had some nice joints too.
You know what I mean? You know, no, but that red joint,
right.
I looked at that joint. He had the drop top red bands. He sent it all the way to California, got the top cut off, you know what I mean? And had it sent back. And that loan was like 10, 15 grand. But that's how we were so ignorant. We didn't know what to do with our money. Yeah. Because then I sent my wide body out there, wasting my money with the European, buying Testarossa body kit, stuff that I could have sent my grandkids to school with.
It's a fact.
You know what I mean? But there was no one to tell us this.
It's true.
So we try to tell y'all, get out the game. It's not worth it. But if you choose to stay in the game, shut the F up. My man here, I'm gonna respect him. Shut the F up. You know what I mean? And don't tell on nobody. Don't put yourself in no situation to have to tell on anyone. But if you choose and think you tougher than me and this God to stay in the game.
Try smarter.
You know what I mean? Or you think you smarter,
right.
you know what I mean, than us, and you can get away and not get caught, you know what I mean? And not be facing, you know, the wrath of the whole United States government, because tell them what our indictment say.
Yeah, the United States of America versus just you. And
the United States of America
the whole United States, right?
was against us,
right.
including you that was watching this. They consider as a part of the United States because y'all the taxpayers. And they paid your taxes to keep the streets safe for y'all, and they felt we wasn't keeping it safe, which we wasn't at the time, but we survived with what we had, not mollifying again, and that's what it is. But back to the main point that I'm making is we sitting here because we don't need to get into all of that. You know what I mean? The fly cars and all that. Go read his book. You know what I mean? The Crack Era by Kevin Chiles. You know what I mean? But
Harlem.
There you go. But that's the point that I'm making. We wrote these books so y'all can read about it. I don't feel I should ever have to talk about it. And I know he don't have to talk about it because his name is etched in stone, the same as mine, and the same as my other guests. Tomorrow I'll sit down with Peter Shue.
Oh, that's
you understand what I'm saying?
Too,
yeah, you already know. But I'm saying these is men. And we're not sitting down to talk about who screwed who and who had how many cars and whose nuts was bigger and who was the king in New York. Because there was no king in New York. You know what I mean? In them terms. You know what I mean? I'm going to give them a quick little shake up. You know what I mean? Back then, you had the Cali and the Medellin. You know what I mean? Medellin had the whole Washington Heights. Cali Hotel couldn't get in there to sell nothing. So they the ones that was the king of New York. You know what I mean? We was just pawns in the game.
That's true.
We wasn't even knights, rooks, or bishops. We was pawns. You know what I mean? Because a whole bunch of niggas. And I said niggas, because I ain't put the N-word in the bed because niggas is still out here. There was a whole bunch of niggas that was getting money. You know what I mean? But that was no money compared to what they was getting. And they wasn't getting the time we was getting.
That's true too.
You know what I mean? They fixed it, and I know you know about this, so we're going to get them this little jewel. They fixed it where they got the extradition, where when they go get them from Colombia and they bring them back, or from another country to bring them back, they can't get more than 30 years. Now how do a non-citizen
is more responsible for bringing it into the country than we are.
Than we are.
Yeah.
Only,
time, right.
Yeah, they get less time. They get 30 years, and we get die in a pine box, and you know what I mean? And wait for your last breath. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't even know this because they used us. You know what I mean? And we're not blaming anything on them because we chose to allow them to use us because we thought we were smarter than everybody else. But we was young, so we did what we had to do. You know, right or wrong, big bro?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know?
Again, I mean, I'm going to contribute most of my decision making is just, you know, obviously out of necessity, you know, dealing with poverty, like I stated. and just ignorance, you know, and youthful ignorance.
And that's what it is. But now that we man, like he said, he was man enough and honest enough to let you know when he came home, he was straddling the fence because things was, you know, he didn't know where he was gonna go. Because you don't know where you're going. 9 years in prison, everything changed. I've been going 26 years, man. None of these buildings was out when I was here. That little old building was right there. I remember driving by there, right there. Matter of fact, where I'm sitting, and there was a laundry mart right here. That was the side door to the laundry mart. I'm in Hackensack.
Right.
When I first come from Jamaica in 1972, I lived over on, I think it was called Essex Street.
Essex is still
Yeah, right up the street. And my mother had a friend named Mr. Buff. If y'all from Hackensack, New Jersey, you know Mr. Buff lived right there. Mr. Buff, they called him Mr. Buff because he was in Rawway and did a number of years in Rawway, and he came home and he got big and swollen, like Lou Ferrigno Buff. So they called him Mr. Buff. You know what I mean? But one night he drove me over here, and I see it like it was yesterday. I was a kid, just come from Jamaica. You know what I mean? My father had a Grand Prix, paid like $3,500 for it. Brand new out the dealership. That's how cheap cars was, $3,500 for a Grand Prix. But they pulled her right there while my mother was in there washing clothes, and Mr. Buff came out. You know what I mean? And somebody came up, was selling something. I don't know what it was, but Mr. Buff knocked him out right there in front of me. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Mr. Buff knocked him out because he felt like we felt. He did his time, he came out, and now they exposing me to this, and Mr. Buff hooked off on him.
Right.
He lived right there. Because I remember he had to go there to go wash off his bloody knuckles. You know what I mean? Because he told the dude, get away from the car with them kids. Don't let the kids see you doing this.
Right.
And they kept selling. It was a little spot they was hustling at right there.
Right.
And he told them to get away, and he single-handedly knocked out dude for trying to sell drugs in front of me while we was at the laundry mart with my mother.
I guess that was his way of trying
Exactly.
to discourage, you know. So same shit we doing 30 years later.
Exactly, but now we're using our mind and we're trying to relate to you because it ain't about the violence. It ain't about none of that. But that's just what happened, and I'm just sharing that experience. But I know now that I feel that, you know, just us talking and the youth seeing this, you know what I mean, would really, you know, pick up something from it.
Yeah, well, we hope they take heed. I mean, because again, you touched on it. You ain't overemphasized, but you're right. You're not gonna find too many people of our caliber telling you what we're telling you, and everything he said is 100%. Because again, it's like you said, amounts of money we had, the jury, all of the shit y'all see on videos that encourage y'all to, you know, want that lifestyle, and what's not explained about it is the consequences of the things that you have to do to acquire those things. You know, we didn't really go off into dealing with once you get caught, because like you said, you know, it's the whole United States of America versus you, and it's a lot of pressure, and you know what, you know, they don't make them like that no more. I don't know nobody, and I'm gonna keep it 1,000 right now, that's doing 26 years, gonna sign their name or gonna stand up and do it, you know. And it's sad to say that, because you know what, if we knew what we knew now, I don't think either one of us would have chose to do what we did. If you thought your brother, you know, the people you love, the people you getting down with, would turn on you. Yeah.
Whatever happened to, am I my brother's keeper, huh?
I don't think none of us would have did that.
Exactly.
You know, that's another thing that I think we blindly, you know, was into. You know, my brother's keeper. Yeah. I know that's a cliche saying, but it's real. I really was for my brother.
I'm gonna show you how powerful my movement is getting. Why it gives me motivation to move forward. Right. It's a young brother. I don't know his name. I'm even gonna do this. I don't remember his name, but I got his video because he caught me on the face. I answer my messages and all that. You know, when I got free time, I call back the people that call me, because I know a lot of them on the Instagram and Twitter. I feel if they follow me, I should respond to the DM.
Yeah, as much as you can. Right.
I might not get back to it right away, but I get back to it. So it might take 2 weeks, but you better believe I'm gonna get back to it. It's a young man from Maryland, right, from Baltimore, 23 years old. He hit me up, and when I called him back, he was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're calling me back. You know what I mean? I said, then why'd you call? He said, man, I just tried my hand. He said, man, I can't believe I'm talking to you. So I said, you know, well, you know, how's everything going and how is your life going? You know what I mean? And he said, man, it's good you asked that, because I want to let you know that you changed my life. You know what I mean? And he spoke on how I changed his life from him meeting me he's 23. I was already in ADX Underground 3 years, you know what I mean? Before he was even born. You understand? And this man is telling me how I changed his life from looking at the flip the script joint. You understand what I'm saying? When I was wilding out, I was being unique. You know what I mean?
So you wasn't wild out. You
know what I mean? You know, that's what they call it. So I don't want them to, you know.
But they don't know you to know that.
You know what I'm saying? But dude was telling me how how it triggered him to make the final decision, you know what I mean?
Right.
To push back from the bull. You understand? And it was so deep that I said, nah, you know what? Send me a videotape with your iPhone right now with everything you just expressed to me and how you feel I changed your life. You understand what I'm saying? So that the other youth can see this and know it's real. If you don't mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he actually sent me the video.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? Where he explained all that, and I'm gonna put that in this segment where this is gonna pause so that you could hear this brother speak, so y'all can see how me and the God Kevin, you understand? The Kingpin, as y'all want to call him, which is just a man and a father. You know what I mean? But whatever title you want to put on him, as long as it's respectful. You know what I mean? Because his past life is still a part of his life, so he still classifies as a kingpin. We can never take that from us. But I'm going to show you how these types of conversation with us just kicking it about life, so they can see and hear things that they wouldn't normally hear, because there's no one out there to give them what we got.
That's true. It's a fact.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So
That's our responsibility.
You know, and we've been sitting here about 30 minutes and we ain't say nothing about no drugs and who nuts is big or none of that. Because like I said, that's irrelevant. That's not my platform.
Right.
You know, my platform is just letting y'all see that we men, we human, you know what I mean? And we made mistakes. We're taking responsibility for our mistakes. You know what I mean? And we're just trying to help, you know, the youth. If we save one, we good.
That's a fact.
Just one. Because that's where it's going to start.
I agree. Yeah, and I think what you're doing is again unique. You know what I'm saying?
Everything go back to unique. You love that one, huh?
Because
you always hit me with that.
Yeah,
you know,
it's profound if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, you doing it specifically because I don't even do this. I like, you know what I mean? I don't even do it for my brand as much as I should do.
Mm-hmm.
For no other reason than I sometimes feel that.
It's a lost cause.
Yeah, I hate to.
You've been out here, so
Yeah.
I already know, because I'm hearing
You
it from the other brothers when I'm talking to them, and I'm telling what I'm here now.
Right.
Give it a shot with me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You
And
know-
let's see where it goes. I might feel that way in 6 months.
Well,
you know what I mean?
but you know what? I've never stopped doing what I'm doing. I disseminate,
No, I understand.
I
I know.
disseminate information.
Exactly, and you push
all the
back
time.
because you know it have to be willing to be reciprocated.
Right.
You don't want to
Receive,
give it
right,
out if
right.
they ain't trying to receive it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So when me and you talk, and you was describing what you was doing, you know, I said, you know what, you might be on to something, because these conversations like what we have on the phone, it would
It's
be great if
priceless.
it had
Priceless.
right, if ears could hear what we were saying.
Exactly.
Because I think it could, because they know it's not bullshit. Like this ain't choreographed.
Exactly.
You know, there's no script. It's just us talking like we normally talk, but the camera's rolling.
You know what I mean?
And we can talk about shit way up here, you know, and like I said on the phone, it ain't many people understand the level of the game up here, you know, so they're not afforded to understand really what it looks like, you know, because ain't shit glamorous about getting locked up and sitting before that judge and them telling you that, you know, you're never coming home.
Sure.
Because the only reason why I didn't get a life sentence was because I went to trial twice.
And beat him.
Well, I ain't say I beat him.
With the mistrial, it's equivalent to beating them with the government. Everybody plead
with a
guilty.
98%
That's
conviction
what I'm
rate.
saying. Everybody plead guilty.
Facts. So that afforded me the opportunity to plead.
Exactly. It gave you
Some leverage.
Yeah, exactly. It gave you the
some
leverage mechanism for negotiation.
Right, and that's
You know what I mean?
that's what afforded me that. So, and you couldn't tell me, like we've already said, that I didn't know everything. You know what I mean? I thought I was the smartest person on the planet, and, you know, and them people showed me that, you know, little nigga, you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And we playing a game that you ain't prepared for, and a lot of people think, yeah, you know, you got money. Martha Stewart went to jail. She's a billionaire.
Thank you.
So money don't get you out of those situations fucking be fed. Like, you know, so it ain't about money for them. What they want to do is take people like you and myself who influence our communities out the communities. So, you know, as the saying goes, you cut the head off and the body will fall.
The body fall.
So if you don't have nobody in principle that you're following, even if you idolize that person because they're doing a certain thing, when you remove that person from a community, no different than you remove that man from his family, you know, the family collapses. So this, and we can get off into this and it get really broad, but it was a broad conspiracy with taking people like yourself and me out of our households. Look at what it did to our families.
Yeah.
They disenfranchised. Look at our communities. As much as we destroyed our communities, you know,
that destroyed our community even worse.
It's
when
a
you
fact.
take all the fathers out,
right?
And then
because we were provided,
exactly,
not for just our families, for the community.
For the community, exactly.
So you know, as much devastation as we did, you know, immorally, you know, we did play a positive role in some aspects because I know no different than you. I discouraged everybody that I seen had potential that would say, yo, Kev, I want to get with you and get some money. I'd be like, nah, homie.
Exactly.
Yo, you need to go to school. And not only do you need to go to school, I'm paying to send you to school. You know, so when they didn't have sneakers like me and you didn't have, and we had to get out in the street, we provided that for them. You know, so we did a lot of that kind of stuff because we knew the wrong we was doing, but we was paying our penances in real time. Like, listen, you know, I know I'm doing all this wrong over here, but maybe if I offset it over here, that it'll all balance out. And that was part of the crazy as well. But we weren't selfish individuals because we took care of a lot of people.
It's funny you said that, right? Because everybody know me, the Mecca audio crew, everybody say we was wild. Security guards didn't even want to work for us. They like, no, yo, Unique, people don't listen to nobody but you. You know what I mean? And that's where they went with it. But I can honestly sit here and say and put my life on it that I've never offered none of them brothers drugs, and none of them sold drugs for me. Now, if one of them came and they wanted to buy drugs and they wanted to be a hustler, I never, you know what I mean?
Encouraged.
Yeah, I never encouraged.
Right.
But yeah, I sold it to him because I'm a drug dealer.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I've never said, hey, you got to sell this to be with me.
It wasn't like this listening.
And all of them, y'all know all of them. You know what I mean? And like I said, not one of them could say that. You know what I mean? So when I sat down to Shallah down in Maryland at People's Affair, you remember People's Affair,
Yeah,
Shallah from Queens. Big shout out to Shallah. When I sat down to him to get my outfits, I took the sizes for everybody that was around me and had everybody outfits sent up, and none of them had to sell no drugs to put on these outfits. All they had to do was come to the club and have fun.
Right.
That's it, because I love them, and anything I need them to do, they're gonna be there. So I didn't need them to do nothing.
We didn't solicit people. People who was drug dealers was a chosen choice. You wanted to do that. You know, we wasn't like you see the depiction in movies where some guys in the neighborhood encouraging kids. That's not right.
Yeah, you know that's so.
You don't have to convince somebody when they see what you're looking like to want to do. They even want to do it and they don't. But again, you know, like I said, we discourage plenty of people.
Exactly, like the youth, the young kids when they come. Like I said, like, you know, I'm not even calling names. I'm not going to call names. There's a bunch of young brothers that came to me, and I told them, nah, man, here, take this $100, go get them Jordans you want. You know what I mean? Because they tell me, yo, give me something to do so I can make some money. I play lookout. They offering themselves to just to be down. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, dog, you ain't got to do all that here. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, and one of the brothers, I'm going to, I didn't even ask him yet, but it just dawned on me. One of the young brothers I used to buy basketball sneakers for, you know what I mean, regular. He's doing good now, and I'm gonna sit down and have him speak on that because he always wanted to hustle, and I always told him no. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a friend of mine's nephew, and the friend came to me and wanted me to put him down. Right. And this is a 15, 14-year-old kid. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Right. What is his end goal? What does he want? Right. Oh, he needs some sneakers because he played ball real good, and the other guys wearing Jordans and woo. I said, oh, he go 200. Right. Go get a couple of pair of Jordans. You know what I mean? When you need some more, let me know. But I don't need him to play lookout, and I don't need him to invest in my foolery. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, that's how we looked out for, you know, for the community and the ones around us. I mean, our intentions was good, but we made bad choices. We made bad choices, and we men enough to say that we made those bad choices. You know what I mean? And, you know, we're trying to rectify the problem now. Like I said, this whole conversation ain't been about bragging about nothing. You know what I mean? And it's smooth. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So we just rapping.
Uh-huh.